Well, I'm back again. Hopefully you guys have had a amazing hump day. It is Wednesday, so you should know why I'm here. If you're used to this, okay, if you're new to this, welcome. My name is B, just in case if you're new around these parts. Welcome. All come in, all for one, one for all. If you're accustomed to being here, welcome back. Again, it is Wednesday, so we are going to jump into what you need to know Wednesday. I want to keep this short and sweet to the point because I'm sleepy and I want to go back to bed. Okay. Y'all know I love y'all because I be pulling myself out my naps to come talk to y'all. I was sleeping real nice. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Just in case if you're new here, let's give a quick little rundown of what this is. What you need to know Wednesday is basically any confirmation and or clarity you need up until this point for the week and or ending the week going off into the weekend, any clarity confirmations that you might need, any advice or guidance to be had. Nothing I say here is meant to trigger you. If at any given point anything I say triggers you or bothers you, make sure you turn this off. Okay. I would definitely turn this off. Ground yourself. Maybe now isn't the time to be receiving any messages. Okay, so maybe you need to ground yourself, kind of collect yourself, and come back to this. Maybe this is not the time to be receiving messages at all, and you should just turn this off altogether. Or maybe I'm simply just not the reader for you. Okay, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. I'm gonna throw a lot of stuff up in the air. Take what sticks, whatever doesn't, let it fall by the wayside. Cool. I don't know what oracle deck I want to jump into. I think I'll start with this one though, since I haven't used the goddess deck. I feel like I used the enchanted map deck like yesterday. And I need to buy some more because y'all know I did that sweep for New Year's and I threw away like all my old tarot decks, even my very first one that I ever bought ever in life. And I got rid of all of them just as a little momentum for me to buy more. And I haven't bought more yet. I mean, it's only the beginning of February, but I'm already like, ugh, I need more cards. Like these are just not enough. I need some more tarot decks. I need some more oracle decks. So hopefully in the soon incoming weeks to days, I'll have some new decks to kind of play with. Give me an oracle card for the collective for what do we need to know this Wednesday. This is for February 4th, but this is also a timeless reading, so it doesn't have to be February. It doesn't have to be 2026 when you see this. It technically doesn't even have to be Wednesday. Okay. So again, if you're watching this at any given time, there still might be some messages for you. Give me another card. We have Quintesh and we have Ma. I always feel like I say her name wrong. Maat. Ma Maat. Maat. I don't know. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay, I'm sorry. I put so much respect on this lady. I just don't know how to pronounce her name. Okay, we do have the Quintesh card though first. And then we have the Maat card. One is about pleasure, one is about justice. The pleasure card I do love when I get it, especially out of this deck, because the pleasure card is basically a reminder to you of saying, making sure that you're having fun and making sure that you're doing things that are pleasurable to you. So many times we get wrapped up in the hustle and bustle of life. You know, you got to go to work, and then if you get off work, you probably got kids, you probably got side hustles, you probably got fur babies that you got to take care of, right? Maybe there's other things, right? Maybe you get off work, you got to go to school and you have class and you have papers and exams and labs and all of this stuff. Making sure that you're carving out some time for what makes you feel good. Okay, when's the last time you laughed? When's the last time you ate your favorite meal? When's the last time you just canceled the day and did something that was pleasurable? The Quatesh card is a card to again say that life is not any fun when you don't have anything to live for. Okay. All work, no play makes person watching a very dull boy or girl, right? How are you carving out some pleasure this week? How are you finding time to have fun? How are you finding time to pour into yourself in a way that feels good to you? Okay. The justice card is here, which is to say that the scales are balancing. So that's something to be mindful of. Maybe you guys have been going through something. Maybe it's been a rough patch. Maybe things have just been feeling a little wonky at the start of the year, but it feels like things are balancing out. You know, justice is being had. So again, anything that had happened to you, karma is being served. Justice, as in just the scales, right? Justice, as in just the laws of karma. Things are balancing out for you. So regardless of what you've been doing, now is the time to really take some time to slow down, right? Even for myself, I've been like trying to get myself into that. I'm always working, I'm always doing something. I have like three streams of income that I'm trying to like grow into passive income. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm always working. And I'm also having to remind myself this week to like slow down or to just carve out some slow time because again, this week is like probably one of the busiest, and I anticipate for it to get busier as the month of February goes. Um, but again, yeah, it's about just making sure you find a balance. Okay. If you know you've been working, how are you finding some slow time? Right? Maybe life has been really serious because you've been having some personal stuff going on. And it's like, you know, when it rains, it pours. You know, it's always something every time you turn around, every time you handle a situation, it's another situation. Every time you find a solution to something, to one problem, it's another problem rearing its head. But how are you balancing out that energy? You know, are you just walking around frustrated? Like even pleasure to me on some grown folks time. When's the last time you kind of got your rocks off? Like that to me, that also means that too, right? Sometimes you be so busy and hustle bustle and grind culture that you forget that you sexually frustrated. You walking around with tension, ready to beat people up. Not because you're really anything is wrong, but you, again, you haven't had any pleasure. Like you haven't had any sexual release, you haven't laughed and you don't know how long, you haven't talked to your family, you haven't called your friends, you haven't done anything nice for yourself, got your hair done or take yourself to a spa or get a haircut, buy yourself a nice pair of shoes. Like how are you adding pleasure to the day to day? What brings you pleasure? Who brings you pleasure? And how can you add that and incorporate that this week in order to keep a balance so you won't feel burnt out, so you won't feel dull, so you won't feel bleak, is what this is feeling like. Okay. Give me a oracle from the Tune In deck. Let's see. I like this energy though. Though I said I like when I get the Quitesh card. It's usually a reminder for myself to do something fun. You know what I'm saying? Fly by the seat of your pants a little bit. Go crazy. You know, at least you know I'm a Sag, so I love to fly by the seat of my pants. I love to go have a wild night doing some head ass shit and then regret it tomorrow and be like, okay, let's lock back in. Give me an oracle card from the Tune In deck for what do we need to know this week? What do we need to know this Wednesday? Yeah, Biggie Smalls. Life after death, brunch and cigars. Hypnotized, sky's the limit, more money, more problems, one more chance. Yeah. So more money, more problems definitely makes me feel like for some of y'all, you could just feel like when it rains, it pours. Like, you know, life can very much be a consecutive set of blows to the chest, you know, where every time you turn around, you getting your chest caved in by life. You know, that's why I said if it ain't one problem, as soon as you find a solution to one problem, it's another problem. As soon as you find a solution to this problem, it's this bill that popped up. And as soon as you get that bill squared away, you forget that you owe this person. And then your job get to acting up. Then your car get to acting up. Then your family want to act crazy. It's like, you know, sometimes it can just feel like life is just so much, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like I can't keep taking consecutive blows to the gut like this. I can't keep taking consecutive punches to the chest like this. Like it gets tiring. But it's like making sure that you're doing something that adds to it, right? Brunch and cigars, right? Which, in my opinion, if I'm Biggie Smalls, is a meaning of a good time. Okay, if I'm Notorious B.I.G., if I'm Christopher Wallace and I'm still alive walking around in the flesh, brunch and cigars sounds like a grand time to me. I got food, I got cigars, you know it's gonna be some bitches there. You know they got the wine and the champagne, you know it's gonna be weed and blunts going. It sounds like a fun time if I'm Biggie Smalls. So again, how are you enjoying your life? How are you despite the problems, right? More money, more problems. Despite the problems that keep coming, despite the issues that keep arising, despite the conflicts, the drama, the obstacles that you keep having to overgo. Again, how often are you carving out time to have fun? When's the last time you went to brunch with your friends? Or went to a cigar bar with your homies, with your boys, with your guys? This is about balance this week, making sure that you're considering the balance of the things, the polarity of the thing. Okay, you don't gotta just do one. You can mix it together, and that's what makes life worth living. Even though you like, girl, I done worked all week. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of how people used to do back in the early 2000s. I mean, I was really too young, but I mean, I was not that young enough to know what was going on. You work all week and you spend your check on Friday. You can't wait to get paid on Friday because you've been working hard all week. You look forward to going to the club with your friends, getting nice, getting beautiful, getting handsome, and going to enjoy the club and some good functions and some good vibes and dance your little life away. That's what you look forward to because the work has been busy all week. Now that don't mean just blow your whole paycheck and just ball till you fall. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, how can you add a little zhuzh? How can you add a little color to what might be feeling like a very black and white daily routine, but to what feels like a very black and white type of phase or life that you might be in right now with the things that are going on? Something to think about. The sky is the limit, though. So it's like whatever you're working hard towards, especially because Morgan Lee Fay is down at the bottom of the deck with magic. It's like whatever you're working hard towards, understand though that the sky is the limit. It will happen for you. You don't have to work so hard and rob yourself of like life's simple pleasures where you haven't had sex, you haven't had any emotional, sexual, physical intimacy, you haven't hung out with your friends. You like, girl, I don't know when the last time I talked to them child, last time I heard from them heifers, I think they was doing all right. I just been so wrapped up in my own world that I haven't been able to really connect with them. I don't know how my family doing. I haven't talked to my mother, haven't talked to my siblings. I don't know how long. I think last time I talked to them, they were doing fine. But I've just been wrapped up in my own life. It's like, no, when like carve out the time to do that. Everything else is gonna work itself out. But you absolutely have 5 seconds, 5 minutes, an hour to spend and hang out with the people that you love doing what it is that you love to do. Absolutely. Don't forget that. Don't get caught up in the matrix. Don't get hypnotized and caught up in the matrix. As if like all you really can stand to do is hustle and work and hustle and that's all you can afford. And that's not true. That's absolutely not the case at all. Give me some tarot. Yeah. Four swords. So that's already coming out. This is about separation. This is also about rest, mental rest. Okay. If you want to talk about again, all work no play makes a person watching a very dull boy and girl. Yeah, because you probably aren't resting either. So if that's something else that is like pleasurable for you, don't be afraid to do that. I know I've been doing a lot of talking about pleasure and what you can do to add, but sometimes pleasure can also be simple. Pleasure can also be something as simple as, again, resting your mind, where you like, you know what, I'm not even going to stress about all of this. I've been stressing for 40 days and 40 nights. I'm so wore out. I'm so thin. I haven't even had 4 hours of rest, let alone 8 at night. Cool. How about we work on that? How about we work on that? How about you actually try to lean into that and maybe really try to rest and really mentally rest? I know that can be hard though, right? Depending on the person, depending on what you're going through. Trust me, I fully understand. Okay, it can be extremely hard to just turn your brain off when you got bills, kids, family drama, school drama, work drama. You gotta figure out what you gonna eat, let alone figure out what three other mouths finna eat. Then you got dogs, then your neighbor and shit. It can be hard to like really turn your mind off because there's so much going on. But rest is the name of the game this week. And if that's something that brings you pleasure, do that too. You don't gotta leave your house. You don't gotta spend no money. Sometimes the most pleasure you get is by yourself. Amen. Sometimes you like, look, I don't even want to call. I haven't spoke to my family because I don't want to. I haven't spoke to my friends because I don't want to. I haven't had any physical intimacy because I don't want to. I have been resting. I have been focusing on myself, and I actually been turning my phone off. If that makes you feel good, ain't no shame in it. Turn the phone off. Put the D&D on, baby. I got mine automatic. My D&D come on at 8:30 sharp nightly. It's been that way for a couple of years, and I'm never gonna change it. It automatically turns to DND on, and I love that. I don't hear nothing, no notifications, no emails, no calls, no nothing until 7 o'clock in the morning, and it turns itself off. That brings me pleasure. And I started this, what I just said. Y'all know I love y'all because I be coming up out my nap now. I take me about an hour nap, lay down, and then I got to peel myself on out this bed to come talk to y'all. But that brings me pleasure to say, let me lay down for about an hour because I'm tired. I've been up since this morning, just got off work. I know I still have other stuff to do, but what's gonna bring me pleasure right now is enjoying this glass of wine off of once I get off my morning job, getting me an hour nap in, recalibrating myself, and then getting back at it. Right. So rest is definitely a big thing here. Resting yourself, resting your mind, separating yourself from people and things that also drain you, that also feel bleak, that also make you feel frustrated and annoyed and wore out. Okay. Yeah. Seven of Swords is here also. So this could also be about sometimes needing to go back to the drawing board and like consider a strategy. Seven of Swords can sometimes be a very malicious energy, but I'm not getting malicious energy. I'm getting some of y'all need to take about 4 days to rest and really kind of get a little strategic on what it is that you're doing or how you're doing it, right? Maybe the style in which you're going about something is depleting you. Work smarter, not harder. Okay, is the phrase that comes to me. Sometimes you deplete your own self because you working too hard. You doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to kind of sit to yourself, by yourself, rest, you know what I'm saying? Rest your mind, really read a good book before bed, tire your brain out so that way your mind won't be running. Really get you some rest. And really in those periods of rest and resting your mind, really kind of get a little more strategic about how you want to go about doing something. Sometimes it's not always just tiring, strenuous toil and labor work. Sometimes it's like I said, the way you go about it. Like climbing a mountain, you know? You can try to take the hard way up this motherfucker. You ain't gonna do nothing but deplete yourself. But if you could look around this bitch and see, hey, let me see if there's something that can pull me up. Let me see if there's something that can host me up. Let me see if there's an easy way, climb over some rocks or something to maybe kind of cut that time down. And it'll kind of help you from feeling so mentally exhausted. That's from somebody. But it's like you need to kind of angle it and come at it from a different way. Yeah, the temperance card fell sideways. So for some of y'all, yeah, that's resonating and it's kind of making you lose some patience. So for some of you again, where you kind of feeling frustrated, feeling impatient, you kind of feeling burnt out, you kind of feeling mentally depleted, you kind of feeling emotionally depleted, maybe by people in your life or by things that you're going through, or you know what I'm saying, again, maybe just the style in which you're approaching certain problems and conflicts in order to really like overcome them. It could be again like just be because of the way you're going about it. For some of you, it might not necessarily be the way you're going about it. It could be the way you're going about it because you're not really balancing out like the happiness, right? And making sure that you carve out some time for like pleasure and laughter and happiness and all of that good stuff. But for others of you, again, I keep envisioning a mountain. It's like trying to take the hard route up the mountain instead of scaling it to see if there's an easier route. And it's like for some of you, that's what's causing your frustrations. That's what's causing you the lack of pleasure because it's not that you're not incorporating things that make you happy. It's just like once you take a break and you rest and then you come back to whatever solution, it's like the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing over and over again, thinking it's gonna give you a different result. And it's like this is burning you out and it's causing you impatience. Take a break, take a breather, right? Leave it alone. Sometimes when you're frustrated, you just gotta leave shit alone, come back to it later after your frustrations then went down. But before trying to go at it again, really strategically think about a calculated way you can kind of go about something in order to again make it easier on yourself so it won't burn you out. The Lover's card is here. For some of you, you could even maybe solicit asking a friend. Okay. So again, for some of you, that could be a thing too. Why we got this pleasure card? Sometimes people get to going through it, and once you're going through the rough parts of it, and once you're in the rough patches, it's like, oh, I don't want to talk to my friends, and I haven't talked to my family, and I haven't talked to my siblings, and I haven't talked to nobody. But it's like if you actually phone a friend, you might could realize that they could probably help you more than you're anticipating they can. You never really know what somebody might know that could kind of help you again kind of get over something, you know what I'm saying, or to kind of help you like give you a fresh idea, fresh perspective on something that maybe you wouldn't have seen. Maybe again, you trying to do something one way, you could talk to a friend about it and they like, why you doing it that way? You need to do it like this. It's easier if you do it like this. Yeah, you need to go here, call them, handle it like this, call them and ask for this person, tell them what's going on, let this person handle it, and then you can go over here and then knock it out like that. Again, work smarter, not harder is what I'm getting. Phone a friend. Phone a friend. There could be somebody in your life around you right now that again could really be of assistance to you. Look at Quitesh with two of these motherfuckers in the back behind here. You see these two big brolic motherfuckers standing behind her. Don't it look like she got help and assistance? So it's like making sure that you're talking to people that can really help you. You know, you might have people around you that can really help you as far as getting over something. Yeah. But the Fool card is reversed. So for some of you, it's like you're not helping yourself. For some of you, you can bring a lot of pleasure to yourself by helping yourself, by really just phoning a friend. Again, Seven of Cups down at the bottom of the deck, so I stand corrected, right? You have options. For those of you where that resonates, what you need to know this Wednesday is you have options. You don't have to do it all by yourself. You don't have to figure it all out by yourself. And you have options. You don't have to deplete yourself and only give yourself or reward yourself with pleasure once it's done. Does that make sense? So again, if you're going through something, maybe you got a lot on your plate. Maybe you're just now coming from a place of having a lot on your plate. Because again, the Justice card here with my friend is basically a card to say that again, the scales are balancing, things are turning in your favor, justice is being restored. Any wrongs that were done to you will be righted, and any wrongs that you have done, you need to right them. Right, so the scales are balancing. Whatever you've been going through, whatever hardship, whatever frustrating situations or frustrating connections you have in your life, they are coming to an end. But I mean, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and they're over either. So how are you working with yourself? How are you working with yourself to avoid impatience, avoid burnout, avoid recklessness? Are you resting, mentally resting? I don't mean just, oh, I just been bed rotting in the bed. Yeah, you can be in bed rotting and not move and leave from your bed unless you got to go pee, right? You could be bedridden and bed stricken all day. That does not mean you're mentally resting. You could be laying right there in this one spot, stressing and acting like, oh, well, I rested today. I just stayed in the bed all day. Yeah, but you worried the shit out yourself from sun up to sundown. That's not resting. That's not mentally resting. You physically resting, but your mind's still worrying yourself. You still popping out gray hairs by the second. The more you stress about it. But how are you mentally resting? How are you mentally taking a vacation? How are you mentally taking a load off? For some of you, that matters. It's not enough about just, well, I went to lunch with my friends. Yeah, but then you came home and you still stressed out and you still did a 50 different things. Sometimes the rest that we need isn't always physical. Sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes it's mental. Sometimes the mental rest that you get can be alleviating yourself of what's mentally worrying you by picking up a friend and letting a friend help you through mental problems. How many times do we feel like, oh, I just want to be self-reliant and self-sufficient? Which, yeah, that's valid, but don't knock the pleasure of community. Don't knock the pleasure of friendship. Don't knock the pleasure of having associates and people in your life that you can balance dialogue and say, I've been really stressed about this one thing. Like, I don't know, I just seem like I can't get it. This one class, this one job, this one person at my job, this one boss, this one relationship, this family dynamic. I'm just, it's frustrating me. I'm kind of at my wit's end with it. Sometimes if you, again, share dialogue, maybe my Aquariusness is coming out during Aquarius season, but, again, sharing dialogue can give you a new perspective. And before you know it, you have a different set of eyes to see something with than you had before if you'd have just phoned a friend. Where it's like, oh, I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Yeah, I don't know. I literally didn't think about it. I don't know why I decided to do it the hard way by sending a letter buying stamps when I could just email them. I didn't even think about emailing them and then finding the HR number through the website and then calling that and giving them the reference number. So it's like, for some of you, yeah, more money, more problems. But it's like you need to kind of allow people to help you, but things are going to be balanced out. So you're not going to be dealing with this for long. Your patience is required just a little bit longer. And for others of you, again, you need to kind of balance it. Sometimes, it don't matter how much you talk to a friend. You can talk to your friend till you blue black in the face. You still going to be stressed out about it. right? But within that stress, sometimes it's inevitable, but within the stress, within the frustration, within the impatience, how are you balancing your own skills? Or are you just going through it? I done talked to everybody I know about what's going on with my child. I done talked to everybody I know about what's going on in my marriage. I talked to everybody I know. Talk to the pastor, the preacher, the doctor too. Child, I talk to everybody I could that'll listen about what's going on. Sometimes you got to be responsible for to alleviate your own stress, and sometimes that's just by doing things that make you feel good. Whether it be a road trip, impromptu vacation to the beach, again, treating yourself. Valentine's Day is coming up, right? Make sure you do something nice to yourself. At least that's what I'm doing. That's my thing. Last year was a little rough. The start of this year was a little rough. I'm no longer kind of drowning in what's going on. Like my head and my neck is above water. So for this Valentine's Day, I told myself I wanted to treat myself. And even if it's something as small as taking myself to a spa and coming home to a nice bottle of wine and making myself some chocolate covered strawberries, if that's all the pleasure that I'm gonna get for that day, to feel like this is my motherfucking me time and can't nobody take nothing away from it, then goddamn it, so be it. I want some chocolate covered strawberries. I'll probably buy myself some flowers. I'm gonna buy the wine that I like and spend the extra coins on the wine that I like. And I deserve a spa. I want this bitch to put her back into it. Okay, I want this hoe to DDT me right on the motherfucking massage table, right into my spine, and reconfigure all of this shit because I need it. Feet too, legs too, all of that. Hot stones, hot towels. I don't give a fuck what it was. Double it up. Give me two of them. Cause that's just how I'm feeling. But see, that is just what I'm going to do to add a little pleasure and a little softness into my tumultuous life. So for some of you, you can take that and run with it. For some of you, again, it don't have to be Valentine's Day. You can do anything. But how can you start adding some pleasure to your everyday life? Sometimes life is just gonna throw you consecutive punches to the motherfucking chest. How well can you learn how to bob and weave? Honestly, if I'm calling the signs, I see Gemini here, I see Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and I see Sagittarius. So that's Gemini, Aries, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Remember, you have options on how to pleasure yourself, on how to be pleasured, on how to add pleasure to your life. Remember, you have options of who to talk to, how to handle this, how to come up with a solution, and how to go about things in a manner that doesn't deplete you so bad, but actually helps you and encourages you as you're moving forward with them. Thank you again so much. If you got this far, like, share, subscribe, leave me some comments if this resonated. My name is B, just in case if you forgot from the beginning of this. I'm open for personal readings. You can find me on my other platforms, and the discount code is down below in the description box. Yeah. Thank you again so much for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. And yeah, until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye.